द कोविड। हम उनको सिखाएंगे, क्योंकि कोविड ऐसा नहीं है कि अभी जाने वाला है। अभी डॉक्टर आशुतोष मोहन से यही बात हो रही थी सर से, कि हमें तो कोविड के साथ लड़ाई लड़नी है और उसके साथ जीना हमें सीखना होगा। तो हम कोशिश करेंगे कि पब्लिक में एक अवेयरनेस दें, हम ये उनको सिखाएं कि हमें कोविड
आवाज बहुत धीमी हो गई।
भी हो गई। उसके बाद हमारा मास्क डोनेशन प्रोग्राम जो डॉक्टर जिंदल के टाइम पे चल रहा था वो कंटिन्यू रहेगा। हम कोशिश करेंगे कि जितने भी अंडर प्रिविलेज्ड लोग हैं या जो स्लम एरियाज में या स्कूल के जो बच्चे हैं, हम उन तक मास्क पहुंचाएं। साथ में सैनिटाइजर का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का प्रोग्राम भी हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे। हमारी टीम ने ऑलरेडी 25 बच्चों को अडॉप्ट कर लिया है जो ट्यूबरक्लोसिस से जिनको बीमारी है, जो गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में है। उनके पूरे साल का न्यूट्रिशन का काम आईएमए करेगी। वो हम लोग ऑलरेडी अडॉप्ट कर चुके हैं। उसके बाद एकेडमिक्स में हम कोशिश करेंगे कि आईपीसी ट्रेनिंग जो आज के टाइम में सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि हमको काम भी करना है और अपने आप को, अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स को और अपने पेशेंट को भी बचा के रखना है। तो उसके लिए आईपीसी ट्रेनिंग इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट। मैंने ये सोचा है और हमारी टीम का यही एक उद्देश्य है कि हम आप सभी को कुछ ना होने दें, आपकी सेफ्टी सबसे पहले है। तो आईपीएसी ट्रेनिंग को हम दोबारा से कराने की कोशिश करेंगे। हो सकता है एक बार कराएं, हो सकता है 3 बार कराएं, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रिक्वायरमेंट एंड द सिचुएशन। उसके बाद जितने भी एडवांसेस हो रहे हैं कोविड ट्रीटमेंट में, हमारी कोशिश होगी कि हम आप तक पहुंचाते रहें, उन पे सीएमईज हम करते रहें। उसके बाद हम ये भी देखेंगे कि हमने एक आईएमए, आपने एक सुना होगा कि आईएमए ने यूट्यूब चैनल एक लॉन्च किया है। तो जितनी भी हमारी सब स्पेशलिटीज हैं, आइदर मेडिसिन, सर्जरी और गायनी, जितनी भी स्पेशलिटीज हैं, हम सभी लोगों को इन्वॉल्व करके चलेंगे और हमारी कोशिश होगी कि हम हर हफ्ते एक एजुकेशनल वीडियो आपको दें, तो आप देख के उस सब्जेक्ट के बारे में आपको नॉलेज मिले। मंथली सीएमईज जैसे होती हैं वैसे ही होंगी। सॉफ्ट स्किल डेवलपमेंट पे हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा काम करेंगे, क्योंकि अभी आजकल आप देख रहे हैं कि कोरोना पेंडेमिक में देर इज ए ग्रेव सिचुएशन। इसका जो सबसे बुरा जो इफेक्ट आ रहा है वो माइंड के ऊपर आता है। आज की जो सीएमई है वो इसीलिए है, हमारे साथ मुदित सर मौजूद हैं जो इसी पे बताएंगे। तो सॉफ्ट स्किल डेवलपमेंट में हम लोग काम करेंगे। इट इंक्लूड्स द होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट, इट इंक्लूड्स द फाइनेंशियल डेवलपमेंट, इट इंक्लूड्स द पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट। कल्चरल, आप सभी जानते हैं, हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे कि कोरोना पैंडेमिक में कुछ हंसना, खेलना, नाचना, गाना भी होना चाहिए। जैसे कि वाणी इसमें एक्सपर्ट है, जब भी आपने देखा होगा फैशन शो वाणी ने किया था, दैट वाज सुपर। और डॉक्टर रचना और डॉक्टर वाणी की देन थी। इस तरीके से हम लोग और भी काम करते रहेंगे। आईएमए शक्ति की जो इस बार चेयरपर्सन रहेंगी डॉक्टर विनीता दिवाकर हैं। शी इज वेरी डायनेमिक, वो नए नए आइडियाज लेके आती हैं एंड शी इज अ परफेक्ट होस्ट। वो आपको आगे चल के बताएंगी कि वो कैसे कैसे काम करने वाली हैं। हमारी कोशिश होगी कि हम 2 से 3 महीने में आपको कुछ ना कुछ नया देते रहेंगे। स्पोर्ट्स की जहां तक बात है, स्पोर्ट्स अभी तो पॉसिबल नहीं है क्योंकि सब ऑनलाइन चल रहा है। जैसे ही मौका मिलेगा हम लोग ऑफलाइन काम करेंगे। एक हमने सोचा है कि आईएमए में एक स्पोर्ट्स क्लब हम बनाएंगे जो कि पेड होगा आईएमए के मेंबर्स के लिए और उनकी फैमिली मेंबर्स के लिए, विद द फैसिलिटी ऑफ द कोच, जिसमें कि टेबल टेनिस, चेस है, कैरम है, ये चीजें हम लोग वहाँ पे कर सकते हैं। अच्छा, एक हम काम कर रहे हैं कि टोटल डिजिटलाइजेशन का, जितने भी आईएमए मेंबर्स हैं उनको एक आईडी दिया जाएगा और इसको पूरा हम डिजिटलाइज कर देंगे कि आपको सब्सक्रिप्शन चार्जेस भी जमा करने हैं तो सब ऑनलाइन हो जाएंगे। डॉक्टर बीबी जिंदल और डॉक्टर आर के गर्ग इसके ऊपर ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं। अच्छा, सब्सक्रिप्शन चार्जेस के बारे में हम लोगों ने अभी, आपने एक, आपके पास एक मैसेज भी आया होगा, उसमें कोई इंक्रीज नहीं है। ऑल दो कोरोना पेंडेमिक में आप सभी जानते हैं, आप सभी लोगों से सर मेरी दरखास्त भी है कि कोरोना पेंडेमिक में फंड्स की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत होती है, क्योंकि हम लोगों को गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज के साथ, बाकी सब लोगों के साथ लाइजनिंग करनी होती है। हमें अपने मेंबर्स को सबको बचा के रखना है, उनकी सेफ्टी सबसे पहले हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो सब्सक्रिप्शन चार्जेस मगर हम लोग बिल्कुल भी नहीं बढ़ाएंगे, क्योंकि मुझे पता है इस वक्त सभी दिक्कतों से गुजर रहे हैं और सभी के सामने बड़ी बड़ी परेशानियां भी हैं। हमने एक ऑफर ये भी निकाला है कि 1 महीने के लिए हम 500 रुपीज का सिंगल मेंबरशिप के लिए डिस्काउंट भी दे रहे हैं और कपल के लिए 1000 रुपीज का डिस्काउंट भी दे रहे हैं। तो मेरी सबसे आपसे गुजारिश है कि जल्दी से जल्दी आप अपने चार्जेस को, एनुअल चार्जेस को जमा कर दें। उसके लिए बैंक डिटेल्स आपके सामने आ चुकी हैं, वो आप देख लीजिए जैसे भी आपको करना है। हमारी कोशिश होगी जितने भी पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स हैं, जितने भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ऑफिसर्स हैं लाइक डीएम सीएमओ, हम उनके साथ एक हारमोनी बना के रखेंगे कि हमारा आईएमए का काम कोई रुके ना। हम इन चीज़ों पे काम करने वाले हैं। ये मैंने आपको एक ब्रीफ में शॉर्ट में दिया है, एक पूरा ओवरव्यू दिया है कि पूरे साल हम लोग कैसे काम करेंगे। अब मैं आपको ये बता देता हूँ कि अभी तक हम लोगों ने क्या किया है। ऑल्दो हमारी टीम को सिर्फ एक दिन हुआ है, कल हम लोगों ने एक ब्लड डोनेशन डे था तो हमने एक कैंप का ऑर्गेनाइज किया। इट वाज ए वेरी वेरी सक्सेसफुल कैंप। इट वाज डन एट द टू प्लेसेस, संतोष हॉस्पिटल एंड लाइफलाइन ब्लड बैंक by Dr. H.L. Sharma. Total 53 volunteer donors were there. They donated the blood. बहुत लोगों को फायदा होगा इससे। इट वाज ए वेरी वेरी नोबल कॉज और बहुत अच्छे हमारे मेंबर्स हैं जिन्होंने कि जाके वहाँ पे ब्लड को डोनेट किया। और जो अरेंजमेंट किया था संतोष हॉस्पिटल ने और डॉक्टर एच एल शर्मा ने, दैट वाज सुपर। मैं आई एम रियली वेरी वेरी थैंकफुल टू द संतोष हॉस्पिटल एंड डॉक्टर एच एल शर्मा। उन लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम किया, बहुत हमारे मेंबर्स को उत्साहित भी किया कि वो इस चीज के लिए आगे आए। ये हम लोगों ने अभी तक काम किया है। हमारी नेक्स्ट एक्टिविटीज क्या है मैं भी बता देता हूँ आपको। एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट एक सीएमई होने वाली है 16 अक्टूबर को। वो बीएलएस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम है, बेसिक लाइफ सपोर्ट के ऊपर हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि सभी डॉक्टर्स को, पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ को, उनके फैमिली मेंबर्स को बेसिक लाइफ सपोर्ट के बारे में आना चाहिए। जरूर किसी को कभी भी जरूरत पड़ सकती है, तो इस पे हम एक वर्कशॉप ऑर्गेनाइज करने वाले हैं 16 अक्टूबर को। आप लोग प्लीज डेट ब्लॉक कर लीजिए और हम आपके सामने सारे स्पीकर्स की डिटेल और सब चीज लेके आएंगे जल्दी। वो 16 तारीख को होगा, 16 अक्टूबर पे हम लोग उस पर ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं। तो वो बीएलएस ट्रेनिंग वर्कशॉप होगा। उसके बाद हम लोग ये जो आप देख रहे हैं अक्टूबर का जो महीना चल रहा है, दिस इज ए ब्रेस्ट कैंसर अवेयरनेस मंथ। इस पे कॉक्स और हमारे बाकी और मेंबर्स ऑन्कोलॉजी सोसाइटी इस पे काम करेंगे और यूट्यूब चैनल पे एक वीडियो अपलोड करेंगे जो पब्लिक अवेयरनेस के लिए होगा। सिमिलरली ऑन 7th of October there is a World Cerebral Palsy Day. Dr. Abhinav Gupta and his wife will be uploading a video on the YouTube channel. I am a YouTube channel. Similarly, on 10th of October there will be the World Mental Health Day, and I will request Dr. Sunil Pawar, who is a psychiatrist, young psychiatrist, to upload a video on the YouTube channel. Similarly, there will be the World Spine Day. Dr. Alok Sharma, our dynamic vice president, will be uploading a video on the YouTube channel. Similarly, there will be the World Osteoporosis Day in the October, and Dr. Saurabh Agrawal will be uploading a video on the YouTube channel. देखिए, एक्चुअली हमारी मजबूरी है कि हमें ऑनलाइन करना है और ये अच्छा भी है। ऑनलाइन हम यूट्यूब चैनल के जरिए ज़्यादा पब्लिक तक पहुंच जाएंगे, ये हमें पता है। और हमारी आईएमए गाजियाबाद और भी स्ट्रांग हो जाएगी विद द सपोर्ट ऑफ ऑल अवर मेंबर्स। Now this today's CME I am dedicated to all the past presidents. They are the stalwarts. They are the mentors, our mentors for the IMA Ghaziabad. And because of our stalwarts, because of the past presidents, whatever we are there, we are only because of them. So I really salute again to the past presidents, and this CME is dedicated to the past presidents. और एक छोटा सा अनाउंसमेंट मैं पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट्स के लिए कर रहा हूँ सर। विद इन ए डे और टू you will be getting a beautiful gift from Dr. Vani and the IMA Ghaziabad site at your residence. So thank you very much. Now I will invite Dr. Rakesh Bansal and Dr. Sarita Anand. As you all know, Go Green IMA Ghaziabad is a new project by IMA Ghaziabad. It is a first green project of Ghaziabad, and the starting is by the Eco Bricks from Dr. Rakesh Bansal and Dr. Sarita Anand. ये बहुत इनोवेटिव है, बहुत अच्छा आइडिया है। बॉस तो हमेशा नया ही करते हैं, राकेश बॉस तो कुछ ना कुछ करके ही दिखाते हैं और छोड़ते भी नहीं है। वो उसके पीछे पड़ गए तो पड़ गए, और अब की बार तो मैडम भी जुड़ गई हैं, तो ये तो सोने पे सुहागा है। होना ही है, कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा होगा। सर मैं आपसे गुजारिश करूंगा, सर आप 2 मिनट के लिए इसके बारे में बताएं। हमारे आईएमए मेंबर्स को थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में पता चलेगा तो वो आपके साथ और ज्यादा कोलैबोरेट करेंगे। एक चीज मैं और बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि ये जो गो ग्रीन जो प्रोजेक्ट है, इट्स ए अवार्ड विनिंग प्रोजेक्ट। पूरे साल हम लोग इस पे काम करेंगे। अब ये देखेंगे कि हमारे मेंबर्स ने क्या किया, उसके बाद इस पे अवार्ड है। तो प्लीज सभी लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप सभी लोग इस प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करें। तो आपको कुछ पूछना है, डॉक्टर राकेश बंसल सर हैं, डॉक्टर सरिता आनंद हैं, आप उनसे बात करें। So I request Dr. Rakesh Bansal and Dr. Sarita Anand to come and say a few words about this project. हाँ जी सर।
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to everyone, and all the best to the new team, especially डॉक्टर अग्रवाल एंड वानी। ये जो प्रोजेक्ट हम लोग लेके आ रहे हैं गो ग्रीन, इट इज नथिंग न्यू एक्सेप्ट कि इसको हम लोगों ने एक फॉर्म दे दिया है सो दैट पीपल शुड come and join them and have their own innovative ideas which IMA will take over and work on them. तो इसमें कुछ मैंने चैट के ऊपर इसके एम्स डाले हैं, सब ऑब्जेक्टिव आई थिंक एवरीबॉडी कैन रीड ऑन द चैट, जिसमें कि एक तो ग्रीन कवर है, एक आपका कंजर्वेशन ऑफ वाटर है, एक आपका प्लास्टिक्स के ऊपर है, हाउ टू नो यूज ऑफ द प्लास्टिक्स जो कि डिग्रेडेबल है नहीं है. So these are the few things which we have come up, and we want all the IMA members to give their input, especially some innovative ideas. और जो पहला हम लोग लेके आइडिया आए हैं, ये आइडिया डॉक्टर सरिता आनंद का है, that is called plastic bricks, and it is wonderful idea. और अगर उसके ऊपर वर्क हो गया तो let's hope कि this will be a change, game change for plastics in Ghaziabad. So I now give mic to Dr. Sarita Anand to tell something about this plastic bricks. Thank you.
सर आपने सोचा है तो आप तो कर ही देंगे अब.
नहीं साले, let's hope so. ये तो सब लोगों का
मैडम प्लीज बताइए मैडम.
की एक बहुत बड़ी जरूरत भी है ये इस वक्त. आज ही हमारा जो सबमर्सिबल पंप खराब हो गया, तो वो आया था आदमी, तो उसने कहा कि सर ये तो वाटर लेवल आपका जो है करीब 15 फीट नीचे चला गया है, तो यू हैव टू पुट अनदर पाइप इन इट. सो दिस इज हाउ वाटर इज डिप्लीटिंग इन आवर अर्थ.
डेफिनेटली सर, इट्स अ बिग प्रॉब्लम.
दिस इज
सरिता मैम,
सरिता मैम प्लीज. सरिता मैम है?
So I think she is not able to connect.
Oh, no problem.
Can
So
you proceed, sir?
it's a project by IMA Ghaziabad under the supervision of Dr. Rakesh Bansal and Dr. Sarita Anand. So everyone should participate in the project because it's a very noble cause and a very good idea. Now I request Dr. Vani to please take over. Dr. Vani, please.
Thank you, sir. So friends, as we know, the Indian tradition is to light lamp before starting any auspicious event or ritual. Light symbolizes the absence of darkness, grief, and unhappiness. Almighty's divine grace is spread to all our IMA members and the whole world by lighting the lamps. And there are 3 reasons to light the lamps. We are dedicating this CME to our seniors, our past presidents. This is our first CME, and we are having this installation of Go Green mission, that is green bricks. So I would like, please, all the past presidents and President Sir and Baby Jinder Sir, our guests, Mr. Mudit Sir, Ashutosh Sir, I would like to, you should join this lamp lightning.
Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadam. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam आरोग्यं धनसम्पदं. शत्रुबुद्धि विनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते. दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते. शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदम्.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vani. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So now, I invite a most senior member of IMA, Dr. Ashutosh Mohan Sir, who is a senior cardiologist and physician in Ghaziabad with a roaring practice. He is a good physician and a good spiritual being and a humble person as well. He is one of the organizers, a great organizer in our great spiritual meeting, which was held in session 1920, where the Shivani Didi came. And we thank you, sir, for your untiring efforts. And this is a small planter for you, and it will reach your home tomorrow, sir. I welcome you with the plant, sir. And we are humbled that you are here. We pay our gratitude that you are here, sir. Over to you, Ashutosh, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vani. Thank you, Dr. Ashish Agarwal. I am really honored to introduce Mr. Mudit, who's an international mindful meditation and creator. He shall be speaking on the process of mindfulness. Mindfulness is, I consider, the base of every type of meditation. I am sure different type of meditation. If you go to the base of that meditation, it is actually mindfulness. I think Dr. Mudit will agree with me, and let's hear from him. I think he will explain the whole process in greater detail. I invite Dr. Mudit to please start his talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It's such a pleasure to be here. Just listening to all of you, it's such a spiritual environment. You're all doctors, and I understand that because I come from a family of doctors, in the sense that all my cousins and all my, all of them.
I am requesting everyone to mute their mics, please, to enjoy the session better. Dr. Poonam, please mute your mic.
Please mute your mics. Please mute your mics.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Mudit, sir.
Yeah. So basically, I really respect the fact, because I myself come from a family of doctors. I'm not a doctor, but they're all, and I can understand the kind of effort all of you have put in, the number of years and the kind of dedication that is there. It's really, truly, and, amazing. And what's even better is the fact that the projects that y'all are taking up, right? Eco-green projects. I mean, I've been away from India for the last almost 20 years. And, the normal perception is that even though all the spiritual heritage is here, we haven't done a very good job. So when I see things like this, it's such so heartening, because as Indians, we're normally known for, throwing the garbage out of our house. Jab tak apna ghar saaf hai, tab tak to theek hai. But, we don't really care about the environment. So it's such a pleasure. And what I'll do is, I'll just go through this presentation now, and we'll just see how it is. Just to begin with, Dr. Vani had requested that we do a little quiz. So to do that quiz, I'd request you all to have something that you can write on, because we'll give you a little score, and then you can add up and total that. So if you have a little paper somewhere, just take a minute or two. I'll wait for that. And my other request is, if you can keep your phone a little away or on silent. I know you're all doctors, so a little away is better, because it'll help you stay here in the presentation. All of us have this habit of looking at our phones. Since we're going to be here for Dr. Vani, how much time do I have?
So you carry on, sir.
Okay, fine. So what we'll do is, just to get something to refresh yourself, and keep the chat box active, because I'm looking at a screen. So I'd love to know, the way you're feeling, or I may ask a question. Just, it'll be great if you respond. That way it'll keep me awake. Otherwise, I don't know, I'm speaking to a blank screen. So if everyone's got some paper, then we'll just go ahead with the assessment. Just to, there are no right or wrong answers. This is just to help, you get an idea as to where you are on this mindfulness score, because that will set the context, and you all do such a great job at work. I mean, this would be an essential skill. So if I was to continue, let me just ask you a few questions, and then you can rate yourself.
Hello.
Yes, please.
हाँ गुड़िया आ रही है आवाज?
Lakshmi ma'am, please mute yourself.
Okay. So we'll continue with the quiz. The first question is, do you find yourself multitasking and rushing around when you're with other people? If you do that often, give yourself 1. If you do it sometimes, give yourself 2. And if you do it rarely, give yourself a 5. Right? Question number 2. Do you find yourself judging and criticizing other people in relation to how well they're performing? If you do that often enough, give yourself 1. If you do it sometimes, give yourself 2. And if you do it rarely, give yourself a 5. Now, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, no right or wrong answers. This is just for you and just to gauge yourself. Question number 3, are you compassionate towards other people? If someone makes a mistake, would you tend to be understanding or criticize them for getting it wrong? Right? So if you do that, if you're compassionate, that means you don't criticize people, then give yourself a 5 if you do it often. Or if you're sometimes compassionate, give yourself 2. And if you're rarely compassionate, give yourself a 1. Question 4, are you curious about other people? Do you take a genuine interest in others and ask questions to better understand them? So if you're really curious, then, and you're often like that, then give yourself a 5. If you do it sometimes, give yourself a 2. And if you're really interested in other people, give yourself a 1. Okay. Then, do you tend to hold grudges when someone does something you disapprove of, or are you quite a forgiving person? Right? So when you forgive, whenever it's necessary, you can do it easily, give yourself a 5. If you're sometimes forgiving, give yourself a 2. And if you're rarely forgiving, give yourself a 1. So we've covered the first 5 questions and we have 5 more questions on the next page. Yeah, so I presume it's okay to move to the next page.
Please repeat first question.
Ji haan. The first one is, do you find yourself multitasking and rushing around when you're with other people? आप हमेशा जल्दी में होती हैं, 2-3 चीजें कर रही होती हैं इधर उधर. I think women do it so well, and I think that's really their ability. We men don't have that ability. Are all the questions okay? Can I move ahead to the next one? Okay. So question number 6: are you aware of your thoughts when your mood changes? Right? So if you are quickly able to notice that your thoughts have changed, your moods have changed often enough, give yourself a 5. If sometimes, give yourself a 2. And if it's rarely, give yourself a 1. Right? Question number 7, are you a grateful person? Which means you take time to appreciate the other people you have in your life, or the situation, or where you live, your country, whatever. If you're often grateful, give yourself a 5. If you're sometimes grateful, give yourself a 2. And if you're really grateful, give yourself a 1. Question number 8, are you focused and attentive when you're conversing with other people? If you're very focused and you're present in that, then give yourself a 5. If you're sometimes focused, give yourself a 2. Often distracted, give yourself a 1. So I presume you've done 8. You have 8 markings on your thing for the last 2. Do you prioritize your time each day to invest into your health? For example, some form of exercise or yoga or meditation or anything, you could be doing on the treadmill. If you always prioritize your health, give yourself a 5. If you sometimes prioritize 2, and if you rarely prioritize 1. And I can understand how busy doctors are. So this is sometimes, for patients, you always give this a backseat. I mean, I've seen my own chachas, surgeons all getting up in the middle of the night. It takes them exactly a few seconds to go do an operation and come back. So question number 10, the last one. Do you try to distract yourself when you feel unpleasant emotions? If you try and do that all the time, then give yourself a 5. And if you do it sometimes, give yourself a 2. And if you do it rarely, give yourself a 1. I hope you don't mind. I moved a little quick because this is not about thinking too much. Just give the first answer that comes to your mind. And there's, again, like I said, no right or wrong answers. And now just total it up, please. And if you have finished totaling, maybe just share it, share your score in the chat box so I can just have a look. Okay, Dr. Vani Puri is at 41. Not only is she good in maths, she's also quick. 39, Dr. Rakesh Bansal. Ashish Prakash, very good. 41, 38. Okay, Dr. Alok Sharma. Anybody else who's done the calculation? Okay, Dr. Prahlad Chawla, Vinita, all 38s. That seems to be a favorite number. We have a hat trick going there. Okay, 44, Manju Keshi, wow. Okay, great. Ashutosh Mohan, 35. So now I see some more frank this thing being shared. Okay, so as everybody puts it in, let me just share the results. And like we said, there are no right or wrong answers, but if you're honest, it's a good indication. I think most of you are in this score between 25 and 39, right? So I'll just read that out first. This is an indication that you're fairly mindful and aware of other people in your life, and you take a little time to become even attentive, right? But the connection and quality of continues to improve, right? So if you've got 40 and above, which I can see Dr. Vani and Dr. I think Reenu Agarwal and all of you all getting that score, very good. This is an indication that you're fairly mindful and aware and often tend to prioritize other people in your life. This I can say for Dr. Vani for sure. And there's always scope for new learning. Okay, so, this is just for you to get an idea, and there's no right or wrong answers because this can change with the mood, the environment, the place, but this is just a general thing. And I always say, and you would realize, right? Every master was once a disaster in life, right? Go back when you started your first year of medical college. And I'm saying most of you would have spent not just the 5 years, but the additional 5 years and then other specialization. And then you practice to become the masters that you are today. So it takes a little, and this is a skill that can be learned. It's just that we need to be a little more conscious of. And I'm going to share with you how we can do that today. So what we'll do is, I'll just share a little bit about myself in the sense that, I was also involved, I must share with you that for the first, till about 10 years ago, I was completely lost in the world. This typical roti, kapra, makan story of how do you earn money and, maximize all of that. And then there was an incident in my life which actually changed my life a bit in the sense that, like I said, I was, working overseas for the last 20 years. And what happened was that my bank, I used to be the head of a retail business. It got sold. And suddenly we had new owners to the bank. And as you would know, what tends to happen is that, in the corporate world, when there's a new owner, the first thing he does is he removes the top management because he wants to get his own people in. And so suddenly, despite being on the top list of, people, I was on a retention bonus. I mean, basically, things like that. Overnight, I didn't have anything. And when you're, your children going to school and your mortgages and cars and this and that, suddenly, it was a bit of a, and I couldn't figure out, had I done something wrong? No. Was I not working? That was not true. I had a top rating, everything. And that actually was, I think, when I go back, a blessing in disguise, because it really made me think about the purpose of life. Because till then, till things go well, we don't really look around. And I got exposed to a lot of things which were there in my life, in the sense that my grandfather used to stay in Haridwar, and every summer we would be sent there in our childhood. But the only thing I could think of in the ashram was, savere 5 baje utha diya jata tha ki bhai, ye satsang kab khatam hoga taki main jara jaake nahaun. Kaise dubki maru Ganga mein. And I'm being very honest with you. There were a lot of occasions, but there's just no interest. So I went back to studying the Bhagavad Gita, and I also got introduced to, Kriya Yoga, and I began practicing it, and it became an essential part of my life. And one of the things that really changed me was, one of the questions that's there in all our heritage, and I'm sure all of you are aware, is the concept of Swadharma, which is, what is your life purpose? And, the more you move out, and you doctors already do things besides yourself, right? You already look after society. And the larger you move in your sphere, and I can see like you're doing things for the environment, you're doing, I felt that my purpose in life was, with God's grace, if I can impact and change lives a little bit, I would like to do that. And that's why I'm here. Of course, my mother asked me, beta, अब तुम इंडिया आ गए हो, वहां तो तुम BMW चलाते थे, यहाँ तुमने अभी तक गाड़ी नहीं ली क्यों? तो I keep telling her, मम्मी देखिए, how much do we need? मैं कहाँ जाता हूँ अभी? Most of my work is on Zoom. I train everybody. But the COVID also teaches us कि भाई आपको चाहिए कितना रहने के लिए, actually speaking, right? All of us have lived. So besides your food and your work, there's not so much that you need. So I would only urge you to sort of look beyond, and you all are doing so many activities which are for society, etc. So you all are in the right direction. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and I'm just going to see if you can identify with any of these, because then we'll understand mindfulness a lot better. Okay. So the first question is, are you experiencing any anxiety or stress in your life as doctor, right? You all are the ones who are caregivers. You all are the ones. So patients will anyway come, and I was listening to the conversation, how they will come with, with uncertainty. What's happening to Corona? Is it going to be there? Is it not going to be there? There are already. What is your response to them? And surprisingly, it's not always intelligence that works. Your ability to empathize with your patient, your ability to listen to them, your ability to give them hope and faith is more than half the cure. And enough, experiments that have been done on the placebo effect, whether it's Dr. Ghaziabad or whatever, and the mind-body connection. So, it's just the belief. And I think you all have that power where people and society looks up to you all. So if you all are also going to go through uncertainty, words in communication, if you study communication, words are only 5% of communication. 35% is purely on, just your posture, the way you stand and everything. And another 55% is on the vibes you give out. So you might be saying something, but people will read other things in you. And the reason I say that is that you all have such an effect that it's extremely important. So if any of you are going through uncertainty or health problems, or, people you feel that your social life is gone and work is too much, or any of these areas, if any of you are experiencing, then maybe there's something that you all need to be a little more mindful, because like I said, you all are role models and the society looks up to you all. I know you all are human, but if you can set the standard, then other people will follow. Another question, are there days when you don't feel so good? Which means you get up, thoda mood off hota hai, kabhi man nahi karta jaane ka, something has happened at home, or, you're not looking forward. And every day you all work so hard. So it'll catch up. So if any of you agree to the first 2 questions at all, not just you, but you see this happening in your family or around you, then just type Y in the chat box, so I know that this is what I'm saying is a relevant concern in society that you see today. Just type Y, so that's a yes, so I know that everybody is in agreement to some degree. Okay, so Dr. Alok Sharma says, why? Great. I think this is great feedback. And I'm sure most of you will think that. Now, this is a personal question that do you wish that some of your relationships could be better? You're probably very good at your work, right? But what's your relationship with your spouse? What are your relationships with your parents? What are your relationship with your children? All of us grew up in another generation, right? Children today are so different. How are you with your subordinates or your boss or even your friends? All of us are social beings. And if any one of these areas, need to be improved, then there is something for you to look within. That maybe you're, in this whole wheel of life, one area of your life may be going well, which means maybe your work. But you are a person, your physical health, your mental health, your ability to relate, that's what defines your life. And it's not just the money that you make, because all of you doctors will obviously do very well. But what is the quality of life? And that's what I want you to think about. Question number 4. Do you ever experience regret? At maybe something that you've said or somebody has said to you, or some behavior, which you're not very proud of, or, it is even something that some event that may have happened in your life or your family, which you're not very proud of. And, some of these things have happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and some of us still hold on to this because a lot of us live in the past. We're not living in the present. And, if this is happening, then just remember it's taking away from the quality of your life. Okay. The last question that I'll ask is, have you ever found yourself comparing yourself? How are my children? Are my children bright, or are they not as bright as my next doctor's children, right? We're very proud ki haan beta hamara beta to fir wo, he got into MBBS or he's got into this or that, and somebody else is not. It's not possible for every child to be the same. About talent, how accomplished are you compared to somebody else? Or the job, or somebody's salary, how much is he earning? I'm more intelligent than this person, but he's actually earning more. These are thoughts that can actually sort of, derail you and affect the quality of your life. So I've asked you 3 more questions. One is, if I was to just go back, which is, one is, you're comparing yourself. The last one was, are you experiencing regret? And the third one is on relationships. So if you feel that, this is an area that either of these 3 are, something that you could improve, or somewhere in your family, close family, then maybe just type Y so that I know that, Y is a yes, that you feel that these are problems afflicting our society. So if you agree, just type Y. If you don't agree, you can type an N, which is just fine. Okay. So I guess some of these are problems that are there. Dr. B.B. Jindal also says, yes, this is a bit of an issue. And all of us go through it. Sometimes we're not as proud of as we are of what we've done. So let's just understand, this word mindfulness is become one of those fads of, just one of those buzzwords, right? So how do we really, what exactly is mindfulness? And I'm going to give you a very simplistic definition in your life. It's not a textbook definition, but it captures the essence. So let's say, for example, you're over here, as that person, and there is some stimulus or some event, right? So if China is getting aggressive on the border, or, there was an incident very recently in UP, right? At Hathras, or, your spouse said something to you, or somebody you don't like says something to you. How do you respond, right? And there are typically 3 ways that most people respond. One is, when you're in a withdrawal mode. What does this mean? Basically, you don't take any action, or you're a silent observer. This is happening, I'm going to, and this can happen for many reasons. One is, let's say, for example, you have, I hope not, an abusive partner, or somebody who's very aggressive, or, you've had a childhood where your parents were very strict. So you figured out that the best way you respond is not to say anything, but remember, every time you think you've not responded, it has an effect back onto you. And, or are you the type who's very fiery? Kuch hua nahi baat, kisi ne kuch aadha shabd bol diya, and you have something to say, right? You react to everything in your life, whether it's religion, politics, film stars, everything is a reaction for you, and a very strong reaction. So what happens is, in a reaction, you don't have control over your reaction, right? So you say something, you behave in a particular way, you're impulsive, and what tends to happen is that also has an effect. And this goes back and affects you, because you are a function of your experiences. And the third way is when you actually respond. What do I mean by respond? That whatever the stimulus is, whatever the event is, right? You are able to separate the emotion from that. You're able to stand aside for a few seconds and pause, and then decide whether this is the right thing, or what am I supposed to do next. So typically, all of us have spouses, kabhi na kabhi argument to ho hi jata hai, kabhi jhagda ho jata hai. Now, if somebody is upset and you are equally going to be angry at the same time, does it solve the problem? I think it probably doesn't. So if you're able to judge, if you're able to see, let's say, for example, some patient came and he sort of started screaming, because his some close one is not getting the kind of care. Now you have a choice as a doctor, right? You can scream and shout back at the person, or you can change and say, look, maybe this person is under stress for the moment. It doesn't mean that you're any way that you're, lower or you've lowered yourself, because maturity is about being able to respond positively. So if you see that in most occasions you're able to respond, you're able to take a pause, then you are basically being mindful, right? Because you're in the present. If you were in the past and you said, oh, somebody shouted to me, earlier, ab main usko dikhaunga, it's like ragging, right? Jab aap college mein jate ho and you get ragged, what do you do the next year? You also want to rag the same people. Why the next people? Because mujhe karaya gaya. So that's not like that's a reaction. That's not a response. A response is when you're able to stand aside. So if you're able to do that, and you've done the scoring also, so you might just see where you are and how you felt. Okay. Now this is a bit of a bookish definition, but it's also very, very good. So mindfulness is that basic human ability to be fully present. Fully present, what do we mean by that? Aware of where we are, what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. So kuch bhi ho raha hai, somebody, it's like this. And the best example is, how do you, when you're with a patient, right? The person is not related to you. The person is not, you're able to take a more dispassionate view, because only if you take a dispassionate view, you're able to perform, right? Which is why I guess surgeons are not allowed to operate on their own family, because you are going to be, taken over by the emotion and you may not be able to do as good a job. So this ability to be aware, and I'll be honest, small things I've noticed, my wife takes a lot of things that I do, which may be something that she doesn't like. But if I realize now that she's got a bit of a cleanliness thing, कि उनको हमेशा चीजें साफ सही जगह पे होनी चाहिए. So when she tells me, Mudit, just pick this up. Now it's just for me, I can say, nee, I'm busy. And my normal reactions are that, I'm possibly reading something. But because I know that she is, this is something that perhaps irritates her, I sort of try and just take it and put it and go back to doing what I want to. So this is a small thing at home, but you could be doing the same thing at work. You could be doing the same thing with your patients. Your ability to stand detached. वो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में साक्षी भाव, कि आप विटनेस हो, इवेंट्स हो रहे हैं, आप देख रहे हैं, आप उन चीज़ों में इन्वॉल्व नहीं हो रहे, मतलब इमोशनली, ताकि आप भी घुल के फिर आपका डिसीजन मेकिंग जो है वो सही नहीं होगा. So if this is the definition, I'm going to say कि भाई, which are 5 ways that we can all be mindful. And these are just small 5 techniques, because I'm being given a short time. So I'll just share 5. Dr. Vani was there with me for 4 days in a program. We went into great detail. So these are some 5 things that I. Now, why is it important? Simply because हमारे यहाँ school में क्या होता है? First you're told what to learn and then you're tested. But unfortunately, life में क्या होता है कि you're given a test first and then you learn your lesson, right? So how much we learn and how much we're able to absorb about life is what is going to determine the quality of our life. So there was a small theory called the ACE theory by Dr. Gary Schwartz, and who was who done a lot of research on the human mind and a bit of a psychologist. So the first thing he said was, are you paying attention to your thoughts and emotions, right? And you are all doctors. You know the billions of neurons that we have. But an average person gets between 60 to 90,000 thoughts in a day. Now, the more agitated your life is, the more, the higher the number of thoughts, right? Less the number of thoughts, the more peaceful your life is. And guess what? Because of the patterns we have in life, हमारे पास में क्या हुआ है, हमारे family ने क्या कहा, हमारे, what do we, like, and don't we also with our children sometimes क्या करते हैं हम लोग? अरे बेटा आप इतने गधे क्यों हो? क्यों नहीं आप ये कर सकते हो, आप ये, आपसे ये नहीं होता. We say all these things to our family, to our spouse. So what happens is children also get these negative beliefs when they grow up. Oh, you're not smart enough. Oh, वो बच्चे को देखो, how well he's doing, why aren't you doing, right? So a lot of these become negative, and 90% are repetitive. See, all of you are doctors, so you all know exactly how neural networks are formed, right? So it is a continuous way of thinking will form a particular pattern of thinking in your brain, and those are the neural networks that are formed. And very often we're all creatures of habit. So if you're able, so, you know, whenever a thought comes, if it's not a nice thought, or if it's one of comparison or jealousy, or जैसे वो कहते हैं ना, there are those अरिष्टवाद जो कहते हैं, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, all those negative, if you're able to detect it before you get swept away in this flood, कि भाई, you know, आप emotion से बिल्कुल बह गए, and you don't know, you've lost some time, और ये किसी ने आपसे कुछ कहा 10 साल पहले और आप आर्ग्यू कर रहे हैं अभी तक अपने लाइफ में. अब ये तो होगा कहीं ना कहीं, but your ability to catch it and be attentive to the thoughts that you entertain will really affect the quality of your life. The next thing is the C of the ACE formula, which is really connect. How quickly are you able to connect with the intensity of the emotions? अब आप देखिए, कहाँ भी हम लोग के यहाँ कहा जाता है कि अगर आपके पास बहुत ज़्यादा राग द्वेष है, मतलब you have very strong likes and very strong dislikes. मुझे ये खाना पसंद नहीं है, ये एक्टर पसंद नहीं है, या मुझे ये बहुत पसंद है, ये पार्टी बहुत पसंद है, वो पसंद नहीं है. So if you are one of those who, and a lot of people believe that this is the way to live life, you know, fully involved. But क्या होता है? This is all a drainage of energy that, you know, your emotions have. And negative emotions sometimes have 5 times the power of positive emotion. और आपने देखा होगा, आपने सवेरे, you know, like we did such a good prayer, right? Sarve bhavantu sukhina. It's a beautiful thing. You start your day like that, you go through it. फिर एक किसी patient ने ना किसी doctor ने ना कुछ किसी ने कुछ कह दिया आपको, and suddenly your mood changes, you know, your ability. So the power of negative emotions is very strong. So you should be able to connect कि भाई अच्छा, I'm feeling this. अगर आप बह गए, then you have gone for the next. But if you're able to be attentive and connect with the intensity, कि भाई no, this is something that I'm nursing and it's not good. Let me now change that, right? So you're able to disconnect and form a new pattern in your thing, which is something that we will, you know, we also do. And the third part is expression. You know, it's a very good thing to be able to express, but in a healthy and regulated way. क्या होता है, कभी कभी गुस्सा भी होता है, या हम लोग डिसएग्री करते हैं किसी से, या हमारे पार्टनर से, या ऑफिस में, या अस्पताल में आप डिसएग्री करते हैं. There's a way of expressing yourself where you can let the other person know that maybe you don't agree, but ठीक है. So the important thing is to be able to talk openly. You know, हम लोग ये देखते हैं कि with all of our, you know, और मुझे भी कभी कहा गया था कि तुम बाहर वाले लोगों से इतनी अच्छी तरह से मिलते हो पहले, और तुम घर में क्यों इतना आप एक्सप्रेस नहीं करते हो. So that was something even I had to learn and build, and, you know, over the years, it's work in progress. The other thing is to listen it actively. अभी क्या होता है कि normally I know you all are very pressurized with इतने patients होते हैं कभी कभी, but just your ability to listen is, you have no idea the kind of effect that you all have on the on patients. I've just seen a thing that can most of you hear me, or is the voice diluted?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. So in case you're not being able to hear, then chances are that your internet connection may be a little weak, sir. Okay. So we've covered the ACE. The reason I brought this out is very easy to remember: attention, connection, and expression, right? 3 things. Now, the next thing is how, you know, how much of your life is on auto, right? And are you able to take a purposeful pause? We talked about this purposeful pause earlier, right? Whenever something happens, you're able to sort of disconnect and see. Most of us, right, we've grown up believing that multitasking is the way. Now, so long as you're multitasking on very minor issues, it's fine. You have to call the doctor, or, you know, you have to fix an appointment, or you have to give some orders to the driver, or do that. That is okay. But any task which requires you to read and or listen or do an operation or whatever, and most of you doctors are aware of that, is that multitasking is the biggest myth. Because each time you try and do something else, there's a completely new neural pathway that, there's a synapse which is there, and you have to, there are new connections and new methods, and you're shifting focus. So therefore what happens is it actually brings down your efficiency. And the other thing we've talked about is the addiction to technology. See, as parents also, very often what we do is, when children are growing up, we don't have time. So kya karte hain hum log? Bacche ko de diya. Not just them, but even ourselves. How addicted, how often do you look at your phone? And that's a good question that if you're in the emergency services, of course, you've got to keep looking. But how do we do that? And Amit ji, I've just seen your comment. We're going to be doing a mindfulness meditation immediately after this. So that way we'll be, hopefully covering that part, right? Autopilot. We have a particular way of living. This is the time we get up. This is the time. Now, discipline is good. But if you're right through, one patient to another patient to another patient without any break, and sometimes you just have to do that. But when you get time, try and take a pause, just focus on your breath and try and see, what is happening truly. Otherwise, living on autopilot is not a very good thing to do, which most of us end up doing. And the last question I asked, which I thought, now this is something that I'd like to ask you since I've been speaking. If your phone is in this kind of recharge, what would you do? If you would immediately try and put the electricity back and recharge the phone, then just type R in the chat box so that I understand that you will take immediate action if your phone is dying. So the question is, if you take immediate action every time your phone is down in battery and you recharge, just type R in the chat box so I know that that's what you would do. So I think I can see Dr. Manju and Dr. Vani and Arun, everybody would say that, right? So this is something you do for a gadget. Now, what I'm trying to ask you is, how much time do you spend recharging yourself as doctors? Most of you are very busy. What does recharge mean, right? Now, typically, all the activity that you all are doing is, the fight or flight response, right? And that's really the task of the sympathetic nervous system. But we, as doctors, much more than I do about the parasympathetic, nervous system, right? Which is responsible for what? That's responsible for your heart rate, your BP, your acidity, So when one system is more in action, which is your sympathetic nervous, the parasympathetic switches off. And unless there's a balance, right, it's not going to be healthy. And that's why a lot of us develop a lot of, diseases and stress, etc. So how do you do that every day, where you can find some time? And this is the part where we get into the solution of what can we do? So the first thing is that I would like to share with you is that aap sochiye ki the first thing you get up in the morning, that's the time when your brain activity is at its lowest. The least we can do is, just be grateful for what we have. If today, sir, you have a house, a roof over your head, you have food to eat, you can read and write, and you have drinking water, pure drinking water, you are anyway in the top 10, 15% of the world. There are many people who will not get up. So just being alive, just being grateful for the joy of, and do it as a practice is what I would suggest. Every single day when you get up, because that's the time when your mind is not judging and your mind is not that active. So it goes straight deep down. You'll had such a beautiful prayer in the, which you can, what does it say? Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina means let the whole world and the universe, outside, inside, Antakaran Sab, everything should be in peace and balance, right? Acceptance. Most of our our anguish and our hatred and our stress is because we don't learn to accept. I'm not saying acceptance is not, it's a cowardly thing. It's about, ठीक है, ये है स्थिति, अब कोरोना वायरस आ गई है, ठीक है, what can we do next? And I see so much of activity that you all are doing, right? Another very important thing is forgiveness. देखिए, you know, when we hold a grudge, किसी ने हमसे बदतमीजी से बात करी होगी 10 साल पहले, किसी ने कुछ कहा होगा 15 साल पहले, और हम आज तक उसको अपने दिल में रखते हैं, अपने दिमाग में रखते हैं, and we just, what are we doing to ourselves? You are giving rent-free space in your head to somebody or some word or something that has happened 15 years ago. It's not worth it. So the more you can forgive, जो भी हो गया, चलो आप चलिए, आप अपनी जिंदगी दीजिए, मुझे जो अपनी जिंदगी है आप अपने लिए कीजिए, किसी और के लिए मत कीजिए. And finally, self-love. I think most of us are very critical about ourselves. You know, we're fat, or we're not that intelligent, or all of us are doctors. I mean, the most critical thing is that, you know, we are all born as human beings. What a privilege it is to be born a human being. There are maybe 8 billion people, but there are over 80 billion species in this world. And you are on the top of that food chain. So acceptance, gratitude, these are practices that you do. And, you know, we teach in the program, this is a 1-hour program, but when we do a longer program, we actually teach you how to do this several times a day and build it as a habit, more for yourself than anybody else. The second thing is sounds and vibrations. आपने सुना होगा ये जो prayer, जो chant होती हैं, इसमें कितना power होता है. आपको कुछ शांति महसूस हो रही होगी जब ये सुन के. क्यों होता है ऐसे? Now, this is something that's been there in हमारे यहाँ जो मंत्र होते हैं या जो भी होते हैं, this is there for years. It's part of our spiritual heritage. But हम लोग मानते नहीं हैं इन बात को, क्योंकि बात ऐसी होती है कि जब तक साइंस उसको प्रूव ना करे. So there was a doctor, Dr. Masuro Emoto so he had actually captured vibration. जो आप शब्द बोलते हैं, उसमें भी एक पावर होती है. आपको खुद मालूम होगा कि जब आप कठोर शब्द इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो ना आपको अच्छा लगता होगा ना किसी और को. So it's the effect. He measured the effect of sound on water, and we're 70% water. So when you speak a soft or a nice word, the kind of ambience, the kind of crystals that were formed were very different from. आप देखिए, there are experiments कि if you want to kill a plant, you just be rude and mean to that plant every day in the morning. Say something, and you say something nice to a plant or to your dog or whatever, and see the beauty and effect. But we don't realize the power. So keep associated with the right sound, the right vibrations throughout the day. And whenever you get time, up duty pe ho, you can't do that, that's fine. But whenever you get a break, associate with the right. Aap shabd istemal kijiye, things that are empowering, not things that are weakening to people. So this is another thing that you can help by doing that. Then we come to breath. हमारे यहाँ आपको तो मालूम है कि मुझे बाहर लोगों को समझाना पड़ता है कि प्राणायाम क्या चीज होती है, right? But it is breath that balances your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It is breath that decides how long you live. आपने देखा होगा, why do dogs die in 10-15 years? Simply because they breathe very fast. And you know, a tortoise lives for 200 years because the number of breaths it takes a minute is very, very, they hardly breathe 4 to 6 times in a minute. A human being breathes at least 12 to 15 times. आपने ये भी देखा होगा कि when you are angry या कोई कुछ होता है या कुछ आप चिल्ला रहे होते हो तो आपकी सांस फूल जाती है. So being able to breathe properly, and there are techniques that we will do, you know, that we will practice right away. And the last thing now I'm going to do is, let's do a meditation now because we're getting on to. So if all of you are okay, we'll do that. And I'll just put you all on gallery mode. So you could, if you can put your, you know, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. And if you can put your gallery view on, so that way, you know, I'll know exactly. Or आराम से बैठिए and just sit comfortably. See if your Back can be straight. आप थोड़ा सा अपना just keep your hands open, and what we're going to do is gradually. Can you hear me, Dr. Vani?
Sir, it was a bit less before. Now it is okay.
Okay. So what we'll do is we're going to start a meditation, and I would ask you to gently close your eyes, and as you close your eyes, start focusing on your breath. Breathe in. What is the quality of your breath? Is it slow? Is it fast? Breathe in positivity. Breathe out negativity. Breathe in good health. Breathe out ill health. Just focus and notice the quality of your breath. As you focus, breathe in all good thoughts and let go of all the negativity in your life. Breathe in. All the positivity. Breathe in joy, happiness, and breathe out sorrow from your life. Breathe in and go inwards. You've all worked hard. Move, let go of all your thoughts of working. And now imagine yourself in this beautiful world. That there's a beam of bright, warm yellow light which is entering your head. And that is the healing light which enters your head and is now healing your brain of all the negativity. It's cleansing every single neuron. It's cleansing every defect, and you're becoming healthy. You're recovering from this long, hard day of work. And as the light moves down, it heals your eyes. Your eyes are becoming perfect. And just think about it. Now you have such a healthy brain. And this brain works 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, without ever asking for a single weekend. How blessed you are. Can we, as human beings, also serve like the brain? Bless your eyes. It's the eyes that allow you to see the beautiful colors of this universe. जो सुंदरता है इस दुनिया में, कितने लोग हैं जिनके पास आंखें नहीं होती हैं, वो देख नहीं पाते कि क्या है, क्या कलर्स हैं, beauty of the mountains, the sea. How lucky we all are to have perfect eyes. And now your eyes are healed. And as the light moves down, it begins to heal your ears. जो आप सुनाई देता है, सारे जो शब्द हैं, साउंड है, अगर आप अभी सुन रहे हैं, it's the beauty of the ears. How lucky we are to have them. How lucky we are to have such a lovely nose, which is also getting healed now with the light. This is the nose that allows us to smell good things. We enjoy the perfumes. How blessed we are to have such a perfect life, to be born a human being. As the light heals your entire face, it comes down to your tongue and your mouth. And everything is getting healed. And bless our tongue because it allows us to taste the lovely food. As the yellow healing light moves down, your neck, throat box, everything is getting healed. And as it moves down further, your shoulders that have been holding you up, that give you so much stress and you're tired, the shoulders are completely healed and now you're feeling very, very light. Such a relaxing feeling of. Be thankful to your shoulders for holding you up and supporting your entire structure. The clavicle, as the healing light goes down, it completely heals your lungs. The alveoli, it's the lungs that allow you to take in oxygen. Bless them. There are no traces of any virus. They're strong, they're healthy. Bless them for giving us all the oxygen that they give us in the blood. Now your lungs are completely healed. And the lovely healing light moves towards the heart and completely repairs the heart. All blockages are completely cleansed. The heart is in perfect condition. There's no cholesterol anywhere. Your arteries are fine. The blood is working perfectly. It pumps so regularly. And the heart, which works again tirelessly throughout the day, throughout the night, throughout the year, throughout our life. Bless the heart. So thankful we are. Never asks us for any weekend or off. And we imbibe that quality from there. And as this light moves down, it completely heals your stomach, your liver, your pancreas, all the organs. Say thank you to the entire upper body for making your body and being able to perform. So that you can provide this service to all your patients. And it's because of this your patients bless you for all the work. Thank your patients for giving you this chance to serve. As the light moves further down, takes care of your hips, your organs. As the light is moving down, everything is very healthy. As you move down to your thighs, bless the hips for holding the entire structure together. Bless your hamstring muscles, the longest muscles that are there. Bless the entire legs that make you stand. Everything is healed now with this beautiful light. आप बिल्कुल तंदुरुस्त हैं, डिजीज फ्री हैं. ईश्वर, भगवान, जो भी आप फॉलो करते हैं, उनकी कृपा से सब कुछ ठीक है. आप let this light come to your knees, घुटने, और just look at it. Such a delicate thing. It holds your entire structure. It allows you to walk, bend your knees. Perfectly healed. Bless your knees. As the light moves further down, it blesses. Your calves are being healed. All you've been walking throughout the day in the hospital, in the surgical. Your calves take all the pressure. They're all healed and healthy, and now you have no more pain in your legs. Bless your shin bone. Everything is healed till you come to your feet. Your ankles. Taking so much weight. Thank your ankles. Bless your feet for taking all the weight, all the toes, the entire weight of your entire body. Bless it, let it heal, and the white light makes it completely healthy. And now you're glowing in this yellow light which has completely healed you. Now that you're in this state, thank the sun for coming up every day and lighting up your day. It's so symbolic of the lamp to remove ignorance. Thank the moon which provides light in the night. Thank the trees that give you oxygen, that convert all the carbon dioxide and give you oxygen. And thank the fruits, the food that's there that allows us to remain stable. Thank nature. How blessed we are to be born a human being. Not an ant, not an animal, but a human being. What a privilege it is. And what a privilege it is to serve patients. How lucky doctors are to get that privilege. कि आप सेवा कर सकें. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः. Gradually, you can come back. And as you're coming back to your world, you may want to rub your palms a little bit. And the heat generated by the palms, you can place on your eyes. And your eyes are healed as usual. Rub your palms again. Put it on your shoulders. Put it on your neck. And everything is healed. When you're ready, gradually you can come back and open your eyes. Any reactions, anything that you experienced, anything that you feel relaxed and calm? Any feedback at all? Did you?
Totally relaxed, sir. Wonderful feeling.
Yeah, I can see feeling relaxed, calm. Okay. देखिए, these are very small practices. आप लोग सब कर सकते हैं कभी ना कभी आपको समय मिले. आप लोग बहुत काम करते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा मेक योर टाइम. मैं तो जैसे मैंने आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करी थी कि देखिए ये जो रिचार्ज है ना, आप अपने फ़ोन का इतना ध्यान रखते हैं, आप अपने आप को भी ज़रा रिचार्ज कीजिए. मेक इट अ प्रैक्टिस. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, एक्चुअली बिगनिंग ऑफ द डे द माइंड इज़ द कामेस्ट. तो आप शुरुआत करेंगे इससे, तो आप देखिए आपका दिन कितना अच्छा जाएगा. या कभी भी दिन में आपको मौका मिलता है, कहीं ब्रेक है, लंच के बाद, Vani ji spent 4 days with us. We did all kinds of exercises, from mindful eating to mindful walking to, and she's such a good student and such a good learner. But ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ें मैंने तो अभी बहुत ही थोड़ा सा किया है आप लोगों के संग, क्योंकि टाइम में देख रहा था कि 10 बज रहे थे और आप लोग वैसे ही इतना काम करते हैं. But some ways to recharge and some ways to, you will excel. Anyway, आप लोग इतना काम कर रहे हैं, but it'll take your level of see, excelling only in professional life is not good enough. We must excel in all the areas of your life. से गाड़ी होती है, 4 पहिए होते हैं, अगर एक में पंचर हो गया तो कैसे चलेगी गाड़ी आप? Sometimes क्या होता है, we excel very well in our professional life, but कहीं हमारे relationships, कहीं हमारी physical health, कहीं हमारी mental health, तो आप करें. और I can see there was 1 or 2 questions. I can answer that if there's anything else. I think Dr. H. Singh had asked one question. Should we do the Q&A, Dr. Vani, or how would you suggest?
Ashish sir, please.
I think you can take the question, sir.
Okay.
1 or 2 questions you take, sir.
Yeah. So Dr. H.P. Singh said that if one is getting 8 hours of good uninterrupted sleep in the night, even then meditation is required. It is said that sleep is the best meditation. Sir, you are absolutely right that अगर आप लोग तो सब doctors हैं, so I can't speak, I should not say much, but I can only tell you from the breath and the yogic perspective कि जब आप सोते हैं, you've seen babies also, right? They sleep 15 hours a day and the maximum growth happens only in that period. तो क्या होता है, when you're sleeping, automatically your heart rate falls. And when your heart rate falls, the maximum amount of rejuvenation happens within the body. तो सारा healing, सारा आप लोग मतलब मुझे तो मैं तो ऐसे ही कह रहा हूँ, आप लोग तो सब doctors हैं, लेकिन I'm only giving you the breath perspective. So it's the same thing. If you can reduce your breath, I've just given you a small example of taking you inside. Right? When I was initially told you कि just concentrate on your breath. आप एक simple exercise कर लीजिए. आपके पास 30 seconds है between 2 patients. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि you're not in the best of frame of mind, आप बस आंख बंद कर दीजिए and just concentrate on your breath. That itself is a re-energizing exercise. Because क्या हो रहा है कि you're spending your whole day thinking, talking, all that is all the sympathetic nervous system. और क्या होता है for most people, जैसे आप लोग करते हैं वैसे executives हमेशा, so when that system is on the full day, the other system goes off. Concentrating on your breath gets you back into the balance of both the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. और
There's a question from
I
our
can't hear you, Dr. Vani. I can't hear you.
Now I'm clear, sir.
Yeah, now I can hear you better.
So can we have this
Yeah, I'll just
music?
put off the music. Just 1 minute.
नहीं दिया?
एक मिनट, I'll just put off the music.
कहाँ से निकालेंगे?
To keep their
Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Everyone, please mute yourself. This is a very, very important topic. And Mudit sir is giving the answers to the questions. Please mute yourself. Humble request to you all.
Sir, our past president, sir, Dr. V.D. Jindal sir is asking for how long we have to do this kriya which you have, made us experience right now.
Okay, there is always. मैं तो ये कहता हूँ कि you all know how busy your lives are. So I'm telling you कि आप अगर आप सवेरे उठते हैं, आपको खुद मालूम है अपना schedule. The best time to meditate or to even close your eyes, do first thing in the morning. देखिए हमारे कल्चर में तो ये आपको सबको बताया जाता है कि ये ब्रह्म मुहूर्त एक चीज होती है. वो क्या कहते हैं कि at that time the quality of vibrations in the morning are the best, early morning, between 4 to 6. और आप ये देखिए कोई भी फेथ हो, आपका कोई भी मजहब हो, आप देखिए पहली नमाज सवेरे सवेरे होती है. अगर आप क्रिश्चियंस में चर्च में देखिए पहली सर्विस जो होती है पहले होती है. योगिक पर्सपेक्टिव में, सांख्या फिलॉसफी में ये बात करते हैं कि वो तत्व की बात करते हैं और गुण के बात करते हैं. So there are actually 3 general predominant periods of time linked to the 3 gunas. So the sattva guna, which is about peace and purity and secure, is all prevalent early in the morning. देखिए आप देखिएगा कि कोई 4 बजे उठ के विस्की नहीं पीता. It doesn't come in your mind. At that time it is so prevalent कि ये समय होता है जैसे हम लोग को बच्चों में जब लोग बच्चे थे तो बोलते थे कि बेटा जल्दी उठ के पढ़ाई किया कर.
अभी भी कहते हैं.
हाँ अभी भी, मतलब अभी आजकल बच्चे सुनते नहीं है, वो अलग बात है.
आज हमारे घर में इसी बात पे लड़ाई हो गई.
अरे वो तो होती है सर, सब घर घर की कहानी है ये. हमारे बच्चे भी पूरी रात ये नेटफ्लिक्स ये सब करते रहते हैं और बोलते हैं डैडी आप तो अलग ही चीज हो. तो मैं बोलता हूँ ठीक है, मेरा बात है, मेरा काम है आपको समझाना. अब आप सुनोगे तो ठीक है, नहीं सुनोगे तो एनीवे अकल आ जाएगी समटाइम और द अदर.
आशुतोष सर.
हाँ और सॉरी आप वाणी जी आप कुछ कह रहे हैं?
Yes sir, there's one question from our vice president sir.
हाँ
Dr. Alok Sharma.
हाँ जी हाँ.
Whenever I do meditation, I go off to sleep at some time.
What does it indicate? See, it's a very normal thing, sir. अब वही बात है कि देखिए जब आप अगर आपको मैराथन रन करना है तो आप अगले दिन तो नहीं कर पाओगे ना सर. आपको पहले आप थोड़ा सा वॉकिंग करोगे, फिर थोड़ा सा जॉगिंग करोगे, फिर थोड़ा सा ध्यान दोगे कि डाइट वाइट ठीक है, फिर आप थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करते करते पहुंच जाओगे. इट्स नॉट सच अ बिग थिंग. और डॉक्टर वाणी जी को भी मालूम है जब हम लोग 4 दिन थे तो सबकी हालत यही थी. जब शुरुआत की थी तो सब सो रहे थे. बट ग्रेजुअली थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करके, एंड व्हाट डज दिस इंडिकेट? इट इंडिकेट्स द लेवल ऑफ स्ट्रेस इन योर लाइफ कि आपको थोड़ा सा आपका सिंपैथेटिक फाइट या फ्लाइट सिस्टम इतना काम कर रहा है, दिमाग इतना चल रहा है आपका कि अगर आपको मैंने थोड़ा सा भी अंदर लेके गया ना, थोड़ा सा भी आप ब्रेथ पे कंसंट्रेट करें या म्यूजिक पे या साउंड पे या जो भी, वैसे बहुत तरह के मेडिटेशंस होते हैं. ये तो गाइडेड आजकल क्या हो गया ना, वी आर ऑल यूज्ड टू दिस मैगी वे ऑफ लिविंग, राइट? 5 मिनट में खाना बनना चाहिए, 5 मिनट में सब कुछ होना चाहिए. तो गाइडेड मेडिटेशन इज अ वेरी बेसिक फॉर्म ऑफ मेडिटेशन.
सर आई हैव अ कमेंट टू मेक.
जी हाँ बोलिए जी.
ये जो आपने ब्रह्म मुहूर्त की बात की है, I mean most of the meditation techniques and all talk about this, but I have a certain reservation regarding this, because in this time asking everyone to get up at 4 o'clock or to start doesn't happen. So I think वहाँ पे कभी-कभी क्या होता है, people get discouraged that since I have missed the time, so I could not. I personally feel that it should be more open and people should be allowed to meditate whenever they feel most comfortable.
बिल्कुल जी. I completely.
But mostly आप देखिए, everyone आप जहाँ भी जाते हैं, people try to talk in terms of कि आप ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में उठो, सुबह जल्दी उठो. Now, if a person is not used to it, आजकल की lifestyle में, so I think instead of being so particular about doing it early morning, even if you are doing it later in the later part of day, meditation is meditation.
देखिए, मैं तो आपसे completely सहमत हूँ, क्योंकि मैं भी रह चुका हूँ इसी दुनिया में, जैसे आप बहुत सारा काम किया है. देखिए, ये है एक आइडियल चीज. अगर आप उठ सकते हो, अगर आप नहीं कर सकते हो, आप कभी भी कीजिए, शुरू तो कीजिए. मेरी तो ये दरख्वास्त है सर आपसे, मैं तो हाथ जोड़ रहा हूँ, आप शुरू तो कीजिए.
जी जी जी. No, that's बिल्कुल. Because नहीं, मेरी ये कई लोगों से, मतलब I have always felt that there are many people who are not used to getting up early in the day.
आप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो सर, बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो. इससे तो कोई बात ही नहीं है. मैं तो ये कह रहा हूँ सर, दरखास्त कर रहा हूँ कि आप इस जर्नी पे शुरू तो कीजिए, इस यात्रा पे एक पहला कदम तो कीजिए आप.
सही बात, बिल्कुल ठीक बात है.
यस यस.
You know, after that, morning, afternoon, evening, देखिए ये माइंडफुलनेस की जो टेक्निक्स मैं बता रहा था आपको, कि 5 आपको 30 सेकंड्स मिले between 2 patients. अगर आपको लग रहा है आप थोड़े स्ट्रेस्ड हैं, या थोड़ा you've not slept properly or something, कुछ बात ऐसी है, just close your eyes and
sir, I
turn your chair the other way around.
I recently read an article by Dr. Trian. He says I don't get time, so what I do is I do my meditation while I am driving to the hospital.
That's also perfect, sir. Meditation का क्या मतलब होता है? देखिए, ये तो एक अंग्रेजी शब्द है. Meditation is the closest English word to the word ध्यान.
That's right.
हाँ, तो मतलब ये जो अंग्रेजी जो है, it can never replace the beauty and the, वो जो शब्द है इतना प्योर है कि आप एक चीज पे concentrate करें without getting lost in focus of anything else. और ये भी बहुत मुश्किल चीज है, क्योंकि आप अगर जब सबको, अगर आप, वही तो हम बात कर रहे थे, number of thoughts, right? From 60,000 to 90,000. The more agitated your mind is, the more thoughts you have.
Absolutely.
The more desires you have in life, the more your mind will work. आपको ये भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए, because these are all outward pursuits. मैं नहीं बोल रहा, देखिए, धर्म में there is a balance. There is a lot of misconception. There are 4 goals of any human being in a Hindu life: अर्थ, काम, धर्म और मोक्ष. But first thing is धर्म. आप उस धर्म से कीजिए काम, जाकि सबको, मतलब हम लोग जैसे प्रेयर शुरू की, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिना, may everybody and everything in this world be peaceful and healthy, and you know, that is the essence. If you work with dharma, there is nothing wrong with art, there is nothing wrong with काम, there is nothing wrong with anything else. और हम लोग तो सब गृहस्थ आश्रम में है ना.
जी सर, बिल्कुल.
But it's a wrong misconception, क्योंकि बात ये है कि जो लोग हैं आजकल, जिसके पास ज्ञान है, they cannot explain it to you. तो हम लोग खुद नहीं सुनते, अरे इसको क्या मालूम यार, you know, क्योंकि either the pandits know it, but they are not able to express in a language which is communicated to you. And जो भी है हमारी परंपरा, 200 years of British rule और ये फलाना ढिमका, we have lost touch with the Sanatan Dharma, which is basically eternal wisdom. Eternal wisdom means, see, it was true 20,000 years back, it is true today, it will be true 20,000 years ahead.
Yes, absolutely right.
फिर के वही बात आ रही है, हमने एक्सप्लॉइट किया नेचर को. आप पेड़ काट दो, आप बिल्डिंग बना लो, आप ये कर लो, वो कर लो, पोल्यूट द रिवर, पोल्यूट. हम लोग देखो, हम लोग इंडियंस हैं, ये सब हमारी है, बट हम हाउ वी स्पॉइल द गंगा, हाउ वी स्पॉइल प्लांट, हम लोग करते नहीं है. एंड देन व्हेन नेचर रिएक्ट्स, देखिए, दिस इज नॉट द फर्स्ट इंडिकेशन. आप लोग डॉक्टर्स हैं, यू ऑल वुड हैव, देयर वाज सार्स, सो मेनी वायरसेस कम, बर्ड फ्लू, दिस दैट, दीज आर ऑल इंडिकेशंस कि यू आर अपसेटिंग द बैलेंस ऑफ नेचर. आप, हम लोग पहले अपसेट करते हैं और फिर जब नेचर का रिस्पॉन्स आता है, देन वी फील वेरी बैड. तो इफ यू लिव विद इन द फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ लिविंग, देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन वेल्थ, देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग विद मनी. द प्रॉब्लम इज व्हाट यू डू विद दैट मनी, दैट इज द डिफरेंस ना. देखिए, जैसे आप लोग वही पैसे का आप इको फ्रेंडली ब्रिक्स कर रहे हैं, यू आर सेइंग गो ग्रीन, डू ऑल दैट, यूटिलाइज द मनी, यू हैव द प्रिविलेज ऑफ यूटिलाइजिंग दैट मनी. you see the joy that you get when you are, you know, adopting. जैसे आपने कहा, इतना बढ़िया लगा मुझे कि आप लोग ने बच्चों को adopt किया. Now, you can do this for your own, whether you do it for your ego or for, you know, serving. I'm just saying, it's the attitude which makes a difference.
Right.
I'm just answering. आपने एक चीज पूछी. I just said a few things, so pardon for that. But I'm just trying to put it into context. आप कभी भी meditation शुरू कीजिए, it's at least a start in the right direction. And the only thing I didn't complete was just 1 minute, Dr. Vani. I know you're saying something. I'm just trying to complete this part because, see, एक ऐसा nature का design है कि between 4 to 6 in the morning is the most purest time. 4 to 7 भी लगा लीजिए आज के माहौल में. 7 to 7 is the time for activity. That is when Rajasic, जो कहते हैं ना, इसमें बहुत रजस है. Rajasic means that's the time for activity. And 7 to 4 in the morning is when tamas, when all the badmashi happens, all the, you know, nefarious activities happen, because the environment is like that. It is supporting all these activities. See, I'm not here to give you, you know, moral talks ki, you know, this is bad or smoking is bad or alcohol. Arey bhaiya, jo karna hai, but I'm just saying everything in moderation always helps. I've also lived, you know, at one time I used to enjoy the best of single malts, but that was a long time. ठीक है, मुझे अकल नहीं थी. I also did it, but when I got to know that some higher knowledge, today I don't feel the need for it. Why do I need to take something from outside to give me a temporary high when I can be high on life 24 hours a day? I mean, that's my philosophy today. So, बात ये है सर कि देखिए, आप अगर आप स्विमिंग कर रहे हैं, अगर आप सीख रहे हैं स्विमिंग, will you swim with the current or should you swim against the current? If you try and swim against the current, it's going to be more difficult for you. That's all I'm saying. तो ये जो मेडिटेशन वाली बात हुई, अगर आप जल्दी कर सकते हैं तो अच्छा है. आप पानी में तो उतरिए पहले. मेरी तो यही रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे बस. हाँ बोलिए.
नहीं सर, हम लोग बहुत जल्दी पानी में उतरेंगे और मुझे लगता है कि आज के जो आपकी स्पीच है ना सर, उससे तो हमें बहुत मोटिवेशन मिला है. And the meditation part was wonderful, really wonderful, sir. हम लोगों को इतना अच्छा सिखाने के लिए, इतना अच्छा चीजें बताने के लिए बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद सर. Over to Dr. Vani, please.
हाँ, sorry, it's a little late.
There is a very relevant question, वो मुझसे रहा नहीं जा रहा पूछने के लिए. डॉक्टर वीबी जिंदल सर ने पूछा है कि हमें मेडिटेशन आफ्टर एक्सरसाइज करनी चाहिए या बिफोर एक्सरसाइज करनी चाहिए. It's a very relevant.
So first is the assumption that you are doing meditation.
Yes, sure.
Right?
Sir, he is the coolest president. Coolest. कोरोना टाइम से भी इतना अच्छा काम किया है सर ने.
नहीं, so it is assumed कि आपने already शुरुआत कर दी है जर्नी. तो अब आप क्लास 1 से KG 1, 2, 3 अभी आप अप्लाई कर रहे हैं MBBS एंट्रेंस प्रोग्राम के लिए. ठीक है. अब इस वक्त में आप ये डिसाइड कीजिए कि भाई मुझे अगर एंट्रेंस मिलना है तो मुझे इस तरह, मतलब मुझे क्या करना चाहिए that I should get entrance, right? That is the whole discussion now. ठीक है जी. तो क्या होता है, there are only some guidelines. One is try and do it as early as possible. That is one guideline. The second guideline is, what are you doing in meditation? You are actually going down and, you know, bringing a balance. You're activating your parasympathetic nervous system to speak. So क्या होता है, if you activate your sympathetic nervous system too much, this is all the activity, etc., right? It will take a little more time. But yet again, there is nothing. See, देखिए, to even start activity, life में you must, it's all physiology to a certain degree, because unless there is some activity, आपके हाथ पैर, you know, we know that, you know, this is a completely wrong thing. Movement, activity, etc. is critical. And that helps remove toxins, you know, those same, whether you get your dopamine from there or you get, so there are many of these chemicals which are released when you're doing that. So very good. You can do it after also. It will help you cool down, but you have already activated your system. So it may take a little more time to cool down. That's it.
Thanks.
मैं तो क्या करता हूँ very often, to be honest with you, depending on, you know, time की बात है. आपको 5 मिनट मिला, I'll give you a 5-minute routine. You want 10 minutes, I'll give you a 10-minute routine. You know, 15 minutes, I'll give you a 15-minute routine. And follow as much. So I think Dr. Ashutosh also asked the question, mindfulness versus no mind, which is a very relevant. देखिए, ये no mind का तो concept छोड़ ही दीजिए, बिकॉज एट आवर लेवल हम लोग जो गृहस्थ आश्रम में हैं, माइंड तो चलने वाला ही है, यू नो. सो इट इज नॉट अबाउट कि माइंड नहीं चले. इट्स नॉट अबाउट बीइंग इन दैट कोमा स्टेट. नो, दैट इज नॉट इट. In fact, mindfulness is about being so present that you are so aware that your mind works, but you're aware of what is going on in your mind. That is the difference. देखिए, thoughts तो आने वाले ही हैं because of the lifestyle that we live. हम लोग योगी तो नहीं है कि you can say बस मुझे क्या लेना देना है दुनिया से, my goal is only moksha. That is that's a different stage. वो आएगा समय when you will automatically, hopefully in Masterclass or later on sometime when you will decide कि चलो there are other things in life. But in this ashram, what I'm saying is if you're in the grihast ashram, your mind will work. But be aware. That's all I'm requesting you. जैसे गुस्सा आता है या कभी कोई पुरानी मतलब यादें आती हैं which are not good. Be quickly aware कि भाई ये हो रहा है. अगर आप इमोशन के साथ भूल गए तो मतलब next half an hour is gone. आप ये कॉन्वर्सेशन जो होती रहती हैं हमारे दिमाग में, it's not अगर आपको मालूम है कि ये हो रहा है and that's not good, that is being mindful. So you can change your direction. आप किसी से बात कर लें, कोई अच्छी चीज पढ़ लें, कोई सुन लें, डिस्ट्रैक्ट करो अपने आप को, बिकॉज आप जितना इसमें घुलोगे, जितनी नेगेटिविटी में, इट्स नॉट गुड फॉर यू आइदर योर बॉडी और योर माइंड और एनीथिंग एल्स. बट हम लोग कर नहीं पाते, हम लोग भूल जाते हैं, हम लोग बह जाते हैं क्योंकि इमोशंस इतने स्ट्रांग होते हैं. सो माइंडफुल इज एक्चुअली बीइंग नॉट the word mindful as in it's full कि जितना कचरा है सब आप you're operating in auto mode. नहीं, you're being very present. कि ऐसा हो रहा है and you're able to respond and react. And actually the best compliment you can get is from your spouse, which Dr. Vani has already got.
Yes, he is there only, sir. Dr. Ashutosh Rawat is my husband.
Okay.
And he's really practicing meditation more than me. And really, I hats off to his, he is very regular actually. So I admire him for that. With the permission of Ashish sir and Ashutosh sir, can I just say a few words?
Sure, please, Vani.
So I have attended a workshop with Mudit sir, and really I'm more aware of my thoughts now, what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, whether I'm thinking negative and all. I have more acceptance now to the people, to the situations, and I don't expect anything from anyone nowadays. Like I have changed from that mode to this mode. And autopilot mode, sir, I'm trying to do it, but yes, थोड़ा सा कभी-कभी failure हो जाता है, और expectation में भी थोड़ा-थोड़ा कभी-कभी fail हो जाती हूँ मैं. And the other thing is gratitude. इसमें कभी fail नहीं होती हूँ, and I have passed this exam. The other thing is taking a pause. This has helped me so very much. Friends, I cannot tell you that first पहले मैं बहुत reactive थी. किसी ने कुछ कहा, okay, कुछ नहीं सोचा, बोल दिया जो भी बोलना था. Mostly घर में ही होता था, professional life में नहीं, friends के साथ नहीं, घर में ही होता था. But now I take a pause. I think maybe दूसरे की condition ऐसी नहीं है, दूसरा गुस्से में है, and then I understand the things, and the things are they get better. So Dr. Ashutosh Rawat, are you here?
Yes, I'm very much here.
Yeah, so I got appreciation from my husband that you have
That's
changed.
The biggest appreciation, यार. कोई spouse को appreciate बहुत मुश्किल बात है.
Say anything about you can share.
Yeah, very nice session, sir. And I have seen a very drastic changes in Dr. Vani. Thanks to your session, because she used to attend many other sessions like this and that, but that particular session made a lot of difference. Only tidbit of failures what she's quoting is because of her lack of regularity in meditation, but as soon as she progresses, she will be much better. Thank you for a very nice session, sir.
अरे नहीं सर, आप ये देखिए, I'll tell you, she's one of the most sincere students. This is what I can tell you. हम लोग ने 4 दिन में जो डिफरेंस देखा विद डॉक्टर, देखिए we're all human, all of us will fail somewhere, you know, खुद के strong points होते हैं, किसी के, सबके weak points होते हैं, कोई तो perfect नहीं होता यहाँ, but at least making the effort, in my opinion, is half the battle won.
Certainly, certainly.
Yes, Alok sir, I am in the clinic and Dr. Ashutosh at home. So sir, Mudit sir, I am joining you again for a coach program.
Multitasking every time. Lot of you are doing multitasking every time.
So I try to do it less.
Vani is very dynamic.
Thank you, sir, for the generosity, and Mudit sir, thank you very much, you know, for coming. I'm so humbled, and you know, I cannot express my gratitude towards you. I have made one slide I want to just share.
तो आपका बड़प्पन है सर, we all know, we've seen you, the way you speak.
Sir, this is one of the planters. आप बेंगलोर में रहते हैं तो बहुत जल्दी पहुंच नहीं सकता, बट वी विल आपके लिए जरूर सर आपको मिल जाएगा सर थोड़े दिनों में.
अरे नहीं, thank you so
much. Love sir from all IMA members and my whole team. Such a great insight which is ever needed in these difficult times, sir. Pranam to you, sir. Pranam to you.
Pranam, and my sincere appreciation. आप लोग जो काम कर रहे हैं, मतलब seriously, India is so lucky to have people like you all, and you know, the kind of dedication आप लोग इतनी education में इतना पढ़ाई करते हैं, और फिर you know, you will build a whole thing. So really, my hats off to all the corona warriors, all the doctors, and may the land be blessed with your hard work.
So last but not the least, I pay gratitude to Mudit sir, to Ashutosh sir, जिन्होंने इतने छोटे टाइम में बात moderator बन गए. Sir, thank you very much. My entire team, all the IMA members, और माफ करिएगा अगर मैं किसी को भूल गई हूँ. मधु सिंगल मैम, you want to ask something? She is sir, Madhu Singhal ma'am is our president of WDW, which is our partner for today. For this program. Madhu Singhal ma'am, if you want to say something, please, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mudit. आपका लेक्चर बहुत पसंद आया. I will also start doing meditation, and I think lot of people will start after seeing your meditation and your way of telling the things. It was a wonderful talk from you.
Thank you. आप लोग बहुत kind हैं.
I think वाणी, मुझे लगता है कि सर की टॉक के बाद कल से सभी लोग मेडिटेशन स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं.
Yes sir.
They are all very inspired by your talks, sir. The way you teaches the meditation is very, I think very innovative and very good, sir. Really hats off to you. और हम लोगों को लगता है कि आपके आने से इस कोरोना पैंडेमिक में सर हम लोगों का जो स्ट्रेस है, जो एंजाइटी है, वो काफी हद तक उसमें बहुत फायदा होगा. And this is my request to you that please visit again. If you come to Ghaziabad, then I think we will like to you offline also in our IMA Bhavan. Thank you very much.